Enter my next guest, who's been a very key player in all of this, Dr. George Yancopoulos, the Regeneron co-founder, president, chief scientific officer here. Full disclosure here with this gentleman's fine company. I took its monoclonal antibody treatment for COVID just a couple of weeks ago. Very good to have you, doctor. Thank you very, very much. Tell me a little bit about this latest antibody drug that apparently is showing some pretty incredible efficacy, going out 8 months at a minimum. What's going on here?
Well, Neil, first of all, thanks for having us on. Second, as you guys were just talking about, vaccines are a very powerful way to broadly protect the population, and you just were talking about some of the recent data, very exciting. The problem is, as we're all recognizing, is there are gaps in the coverage provided by the vaccines. And as you know very well, you've been a big spokesman for it, the immunocompromised are particularly vulnerable. There are people, estimated to be between 5 to 10 million Americans, who will not respond to the vaccine. They will not make these antibodies that the vaccine is designed to do, the antibodies that will protect you. And the question is, what can we do for these people? Because all these studies show, a study from Johns Hopkins, all sorts of other studies are showing these people are not protected by the vaccine, and they are particularly vulnerable to getting very serious disease that can hospitalize them and even kill them. So what can we do for them? Well, our drug is really the antibodies that the vaccine is designed to make the body produce. Well, we've made those antibodies, and we can give them as a substitute to these people who are not satisfactorily making a response to the vaccine. It's a way to protect these particularly vulnerable immunocompromised. So our antibody has already been approved to treat people who have, or authorized, FDA authorized, to treat the people who are already infected, or, for example, immunocompromised people who have been exposed to somebody who's already infected. They are not yet authorized, essentially, to act as a substitute for the vaccine for the immunocompromised who don't respond to the vaccine. And that's why the recent data is so exciting. What we've shown is that a single administration of these antibodies will protect people for many, many months, pretty much as well as a vaccine does. So now this is a great alternative, potentially, for all of those poor people, the most vulnerable amongst us, the immunocompromised, who don't respond to the vaccine. We can now give them essentially what is called a passive vaccine. We can give them our antibodies. A single administration will work for many months, and you can imagine dosing them once or a couple times a year to protect them, just like a vaccine or a booster does. So it's a great alternative for these who are particularly vulnerable. We applied many months ago now with the FDA for this potential use to provide protection for these particularly vulnerable, such as the immunocompromised. But our recent data that shows that a single administration can last for such a long time makes this very plausible and convenient as a way to really deal with the millions of Americans who are not responding to the vaccine. And so now we are updating our filing with the FDA, and we really hope that they can act sooner rather than later, because there's so many, as you know, as well as anybody, so many desperate people who need something, the immunocompromised, people who have multiple sclerosis or have had certain cancers, lymphomas, and so forth. They need something to protect themselves because the vaccine doesn't work. They're particularly vulnerable. They can't go out and feel comfortable living their lives because they don't have the antibodies that the vaccine gives them. Well, we can give them these antibodies, and the latest data shows, a couple shots a year or maybe once a quarter will be enough to really protect them.
So even if they've been vaccinated or not, I mean, this is sort of like an insurance treatment. How would you describe it, doctor?
Well, the problem is studies now show that for a lot of the immunocompromised, even if they've been vaccinated, they just don't respond. Their body doesn't make the antibodies that normal people make. So despite vaccination, they're still vulnerable. They can still get very sick and hospitalized and even die. And so what we're doing is we're giving them what the vaccine is intended to elicit from the body, that is antibodies. We're literally giving them a substitute for what the vaccine is designed to give them, protection.
So how is this COVID, I'm sorry, doctor, the COVID antibody drug that you're talking about, how is it administered? Is it injected into you? Is it like a monoclonal antibody treatment, infusion? How would you describe how it's administered?
Originally, it was given as an infusion. That means it has to go directly into your vein.
Right.
But now we've actually shown, and this latest study is with subcutaneous administration. So a simple injection that millions and millions of Americans do daily, such as the people who give themselves insulin and so forth. That sort of simple injection can be used to actually provide this protection for all those people who cannot respond to the vaccine.
Doctor, what is it about COVID? I know we've discovered something new every day, where the effectiveness of a vaccine wanes over time. Now, you keep it going in this particular case at a minimum 8 months, and that's certainly good news. This idea keeps coming up about follow-up booster shots. Should we treat this like we do the common flu, yearly shots? Is that the way we're going to go with COVID? Because after a while, it's not like a one-shot deal to deal with measles or the mumps or chicken pox. It's alien, ailments to a lot of younger people today. Or will this require, annual or every couple of years treatment?
Yes, certainly we were all hoping that widespread vaccination would result in permanent and ultimately herd immunity, and we could put this all behind us. Unfortunately, as you summarized, the data suggests that both in the people who do respond, for a lot of them, particularly the elderly and so forth, the immunity they get from the vaccine wanes over time, so that they will need to get periodic boosters. And also we've, of course, learned, which is also the case for other vaccinations, that the immunocompromised just will not respond to the vaccines, and they remain vulnerable. And so now we have to take all of these tools, all these weapons we have available to us to fight back, whether it be vaccines given probably on a regular basis, let's say boosters. I don't know what the final regimens will be, but let's say yearly or so forth. But the good news coming from, our work and from our recent trial is that now for all the people for whom the vaccine is going to work, for 95% of the population, but for those people who don't have the immune capability to respond to the vaccine, there's now an alternative, which is pretty much analogous to the vaccine. You're going to have to get not a booster, but essentially a passive vaccination twice a year or maybe 4 times a year. Right. And then you'll be as protected as you are from a vaccine for all those people who have lymphoma or myeloma or are immunocompromised because they have MS or they're receiving certain treatments. They now have a way to be protected because they couldn't be protected with the vaccine. So that's the big news.
No, that's incredible. No, you're quite right, Doctor. It's incredible. And you know what? I discovered accidentally, I had no idea, by just telling people it's a good idea to get vaccinated, that I was drawn into a political argument. That was not my intention. I just think that you're better for yourself and those around you who could be vulnerable to this if you are vaccinated. But of course, you would think I was Lucifer here. But I did want to get your take on people who read of my experience and said, well, look, Neil was vaccinated. He still got Colin Powell vaccinated. Of course, he was 84 years old. He was dealing with a separate cancer. But no matter how many times you tell people here, I would hear from quite a few, many still do, well, it's not worth it. I mean, you still get the damn thing. What do you say, Doctor, to that crowd that says, no way in hell am I going to get something that won't do the job?
Well, you got right to the core of why it's so great that the biopharma industry has delivered all of these weapons, but it's like you have to use the right tool for the right problem. And probably your situation, I don't know enough about your medical history, so I'm just speculating. And the same with Colin Powell. Okay, if people have, for example, myeloma, like Colin Powell had, and had a lot of treatments that affect their immune system, or in your case, for example, you may have been vaccinated, but you are not the right person for a vaccine if your immune system can't respond to the vaccine. These are the so-called immunocompromised people, people with multiple sclerosis, lymphoma, myelomas, other cancers. They can't be protected by the vaccine. And that's why it's so important that we now have an alternative. The whole point of the vaccine is to make your body make antibodies against the virus. Some people, and I don't know the details, but people who get sick, a lot of them are immunocompromised because they're not protected by the vaccine. Their body doesn't respond. They don't make their own antibodies. We have made those antibodies that their bodies can't make. And we grow them up in big bioreactors, and then we can give them back to these individuals who can't be protected. So it's vaccination for the broadest population and all the people who have intact immune systems, and hopefully it will work for them. But we have to understand there will be a percentage of the population, about 5% or so, for whom vaccination does not work. And for those people, the good news is we have this alternative. We can give you the antibodies that your body is not making. And so we can protect you pretty much as well as a vaccine does. So some people who you're hearing about who are getting sick and dying despite vaccination, it's because they're immunocompromised. Their body did not respond to the vaccine. We now have all this data that suggests for those people, okay, this can be a vaccine substitute and save them. And so we have to use the right tools for the right populations. Broadly vaccinate, and it'll help all the people who have intact immune systems. For those who don't have intact immune systems, here's a viable alternative. A couple of times a year or 4 times a year, you get this passive vaccine, the Regeneron monoclonal antibody. And what we're hoping for is that the FDA is going to agree, particularly with our updated data that we're about to submit, and make this available for all these particularly vulnerable people, the most vulnerable amongst us, those who are immunocompromised. And it would be great if the FDA can possibly act. You know, the holidays are coming.
Right,
it'd be great to put these people at ease. I mean, so many of them understand the risk that they're under. They're not resuming their normal lives. They're staying away from their daily routines. They're truly prisoners of the pandemic. They're the most vulnerable amongst us. We now believe, our data suggests, we have a solution for these people. And so the right tool for the right approach, the right medicine for the right case, for the broad population that has good immune systems, get them all the vaccine. For the small percentage who don't, get them Regeneron or other monoclonal antibodies as chronic preventative treatments.
Doctor, a real pleasure having you. Thank you very much, Dr. George Yancopoulos, the Regeneron co-founder, president, scientific officer. You heard what he said here. The odds getting this, again, in that subset of the population, 5%. As I told my wife quickly afterwards, see, honey, I'm special. She was not impressed with that.